Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. How you doing today? It is Thursday. That means we have the one, the only, and the legendary Jonathan Twomley with us this morning. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Michael. We seem to have a little bit of internet funny business going on today, but hopefully we'll make it through nonetheless.
Yeah, it
Um,
looks like our East Coast West Coast internet's lagging about 2 or 3 seconds, so that ought to be fun for us to figure out.
yeah, exactly. I keep on getting the message saying my internet connection is unstable, but I mean, I'm like in this corporate office with supposedly super fast, state of the art internet. So I don't know what's going on.
We'll give it a go.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. Well, the first thing I want to talk about is a topic that would probably be not something anybody would expect from you and I, right? You are multifamily syndicator, focus on large apartments. I'm the single family month to month rental guy. But you know what? You've stuck your toe in the water of Airbnb and short-term rentals. So I thought we should talk about that. What's been your experience? Is it all what it's cracked up to be? What's going on?
Yeah. So I just have to say, I'm now a huge fan of short-term vacation rentals. And the reason is that so we may have talked about this before on the show, but I late last year bought a house in a kind of pretty remote part of upstate New York. And but it is sort of wine country. It's a pretty big vacation destination. And being a real estate guy, I could not stand the idea of having a house be, sucking money from me as opposed to making money for me. So I decided that we would rent the house when we're not using it, and also sort of, psychologically that sort of freed us up to like not have to go to the house every time we had a
Uh,
vacation. We could go somewhere else too, which the kids have already started saying we don't want to go there. So
I don't want to go again.
yeah. So um, but my I had set my expectations kind of low for this I when I set out. I thought, if we can cover the carrying costs of the house minus what we would have spent on a vacation to rent a house there, or however, usually we go up there 2 times so 2 weeks
Mhm.
in the summertime. Sort of if we net it out to the cost of the vacation, you know as a loss on the house like that would
Yeah.
have been fun. So
Okay.
we got the house. It took us a really long time to get the house ready because we had all these sort of delays with stuff that we were trying to do related, somewhat related to COVID, other things just, screw ups. And finally got the house listed just before Memorial Day. We didn't get it rented for Memorial Day because we were too late. And we were really worried about what was going to happen for June and July. But here's what happened. By the end of June, we basically had June was fully booked. July just got fully booked. We had a couple of weeks left in August when we weren't using the house. It's now fully booked. And
Wow.
basically on those 3 months of income, not only will we cover the carrying costs of the house, we have also more than paid for our own vacations, and
Wow.
we're making a profit, and that's just from those 3 months. We still have September, which is a strong rental month on the weekends to go, and October, which is foliage season, and a lot of people go up there to see the foliage. So we've got at least 6 more weeks of like booked up weekends to go before the season is really over. And then, there's always going to be somebody once in a while who's going to rent
Yeah.
it for some reason, like visiting their kids at college. There's a local college there. There's wedding venues, all kinds of other reasons why people might rent at some other time. But basically, just in those 3 months in the summertime, even having listed late, we still are like making a pretty decent profit. And it's after all the,
Yeah.
taxes that we have to, the occupancy taxes that we have to pay the county, the cleaning fees that we have to pay, even though we pass it through.
Yeah.
It's just, it's incredible. So I am now a fan, and my wife is like, can we buy another one?
The classic some is good, more is better.
Yeah. So I just think that this is a really good, I guess it's sort of like an alternative form of house hacking in a way,
Yeah,
right? You have,
exactly. Yeah.
typical house hack is you buy a two-family, you live in one, you rent out the other, and eventually, the rental is going to cover your mortgage completely, and you live for free. Well, this is a way of having like a free vacation house, and where you're basically making money on your vacation house. And the great thing too about renting it out is that you can take all the depreciation. So
Exactly.
basically you're going to be tax-free income, right?
Yeah.
And your profit, right? Your profit will be tax free. And um, the way that it works, I checked this out with my CPA. As long as the house is offered for rent, then it's not for personal use.
Right.
So and it's very easy if you use Airbnb or whatever to rent it out, to just have it listed for the entire year. You block out the 2 weeks that you're using it or whatever, and it's super easy to track
Yep.
exactly how much time. So you can show like, hey, I used this house for 21 days out of 365. So therefore I'm entitled to, 95, whatever percent that works out to of the depreciation.
Mm-hmm.
The rest is for personal use. So this is something that if you've got, some capital lying around and there's a vacation place that you like and you go to frequently and you want to buy a house there, you shouldn't necessarily think of this as like an additional cost center for you if you can make this into a vacation rental also. And Anna Kelly, I know, who's also, at
Mm-hmm.
least, I don't know if she's still doing a
Yep.
show with you.
Wednesdays.
Yeah. So Anna, she has been doing this for a long time. She's really good at this. So, and I've even had her talk to my group about how to successfully do vacation rentals, even though it's not a multifamily topic. But yeah, I'm a fan now. So
Wow. So I guess a couple of questions. So what is the average nightly rate where you're at?
So, well, I don't know what the average nightly rate is, but I'll tell you something else that's interesting. So
Mhm.
we had, when we started, we had thought, well, we're going to rent the house out. We'll do the Airbnb stuff ourselves. And we kind of had this plan where my wife was going to do it and see if she could get enough hours to qualify as a real estate professional, because she, COVID, her job was gone because of COVID and it's not coming back. So we figured, well, at least maybe we can, take advantage of that and have her manage all of the listings and everything, coordinate everything. But then we kind of realized that that's actually kind of a big pain, and I'm not really sure if like the tax break was going to be, worthwhile, because I don't have any passive investments anyway at the moment, right, from real estate. So, trying to convert it into the depreciation for what, right? Maybe just on this house, it's not that much. So I decided to list it with one of those online listing services, right?
Yeah.
And what they do is they list it on a whole bunch of different sites, and they manage your listing for you, and then you pay them 10%, right? And they basically, they don't coordinate the cleaning, but they help you find, like, they kind of vet cleaning services for you, and then so you can basically make this hands off.
Okay.
So we got to, we use the cleaning service that they recommended. Then we also, that cleaning service turns out to offer property management, which is at a pretty affordable price. And so we just were like, hey, why don't we just do this hands off?
Yeah.
So the thing is, what was really interesting about this is that, so this listing service uses like hotel style algorithms to determine how much to charge. And it's dynamic. So it's constantly changing. And they have a lot of houses across the country. So they have a lot of data about how much they can charge for houses. So the surprising thing to me was, well, two surprising things. One was that, we had always rented by the week when we went up there, and a lot of the houses that we were looking at in the summertime would have a 1 week minimum, and they set a 2-day minimum. And I was talking to them, like, why do you do this? Like, why do you set a 2-day minimum? And they were like, look, our data shows that most people want to rent it for a weekend rather than for a whole week. And people will, or a couple of days in the middle of the week, right? And so I was like, okay, well, you guys are the experts, I'll trust you there. But then the really surprising thing was that they listed the house for way more than I would have listed it. So basically we're making as much for like a 3-day weekend rental as we thought we would have made for like a whole week. Because we would have listed it for like $200 a night or whatever, and they're listing it on weekends for as much as like $460.
Wow. Okay.
A night. And people are saying it's not a huge house, but it's it can sleep 8 people, and so
that's awesome.
Close to a lot of stuff. So it's been great. So we've made a lot more revenue just by leaving it to them and letting them run their algorithm. And then what they do is they also have this thing where they kind of like sort of like hotels and stuff, the closer it gets to the date, if the room is not booked, then they start dropping the price
Yeah.
to try to just get somebody in there and, and renting it. So we've had like last minute bookings. We actually, the other day we were there this week until Monday, and I was, Tuesday I got home and I was like lying in bed and looking at my phone, which you're not supposed to do, but I was doing it, and suddenly a booking popped up for the next day.
Oh, wow.
Right? Somebody just at the last minute, and they were like literally like, we had a booking for the weekend, but there was nobody there for like 3-4 days between us leaving and the next guest coming. And so I like texted the management company right away. Like they have the calendar so they can see, but like if they didn't notice that somebody had booked it,
Yeah.
they probably wouldn't have gone to clean it until Friday.
Right.
And so somebody would have showed up with, a dirty house. So
Sure.
I texted them right away. I was like, hey, did you guys see this? And they're like, okay, thanks for letting us know. So then they went right away the next day and cleaned it before that guest got there. But
Nice.
but the booking, people are booking at the last minute. I mean, it's been really fantastic.
So I guess the question I have for you as a numbers guy, do you, like your wife said, do you go look for a second one there? Or do you go, honey, where else do you like to travel?
Well,
let's go get a vacation rental there also.
So that's actually what she said. Like my inclination was like, hey, let's buy another one. Like, let's buy one like on the lake.
Okay.
Instead of like, ours is a little bit away from the lake. Let's buy one on the lake. But she was like, well, what about, last night she's like, honey, what if we bought a house in the Catskills instead, which is like a mountain region just outside New York City. So it's a lot closer. Like our house is too far to go for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, what if we buy another one like in the Catskills? It's 2 hours away. And then on like weekends, we could go there and we could rent out the rest of the time. I was like, well, yeah, no, that could work too. So
nice.
Yeah. So, and that's because it's so close to New York City, it's a very high demand vacation rental area. And there's ski, it's year round too, because there's skiing there.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Very cool. This is going to be fun to watch. Jonathan Twombly, the Airbnb king.
So yeah, very, 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 I mean, I don't know. I just, as a real estate guy, I mean, just the idea that I can make money on
your vacation
house, just tickles my funny bone.
Yeah, it just feels good.
It just feels good. And then it's like, gosh, how is there a way to make money on the house I live in somehow? But I guess I have to do that. But
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
very cool. This has been a fun conversation. Yeah, look, I'm going to talk to Olivia later in the day and share this story with her. So Jonathan, do me a favor. How do you want people to follow you or be part of your world?
Yeah. So the best, easiest way is to go join my Facebook group, which is called the Multifamily Investment Community. I try to post in there every day. We've got good conversations. Right now, I think we're 11,300 members or so. And, it's a completely spam-free, BS-free group. And I'm very vigilant about kicking people out who don't play by the rules. So if you want to learn about multifamily or just get involved with some fun conversations and frankly meet partners and what have you, it's a great community to join. So Multifamily Investment Community. However, make sure you join on a computer because the Facebook is going to show you some questions that you must answer and it won't show you them on phones. Yeah. So, and I tend to boot people who don't answer the questions. So please join on a computer.
There you go. And folks, I'm a part of the group. I love him. He puts out these daily questions sometimes that make me scratch my head and think. So I appreciate them, Jonathan. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.